Good evening, bonsoir, bienvenue à la réunion publique le 23 janvier. Welcome to the public meeting on January 23rd. I will ask everybody to please rise for the national anthem.
Ton histoire est une épopée des plus vivants espoirs.
On a une présentation. We have a presentation this evening. Genre de mise à jour du budget d'opération 2023 par Madame Gauvin, notre trésorière. Vous avez le micro, Madame Gauvin.
Merci beaucoup. Good evening. Tonight, I would like to provide Council with an update on the general operating budget for the year 2023. When it was initially presented in November, Council did not have the authority to approve the budget for the newly defined City of Bathurst. Exceptionally, because of the local governance reform, the budget has had to be sent to the province for approval, where they would take the recommendations from Council and the Transition Committee, and to ultimately decide the tax rate for each section within the city. And I say section because, as you know, we now have 2 wards. Is it breaking? We now have 2 wards, and on top of this, Ward 2 is divided in 2 sections with 2 tax rates. This creates a total of 3 different tax rates for the new City of Bathurst. So you have Block A, which is the totality of Ward 1 for the old City of Bathurst limits. And then you have Ward 2, which on the upper left corner, we named it B for now, includes parts of North Tedegush. And then you have the Block C, which includes all of the other parts of the old LSDs that are now within the City of Bathurst limits. But it's divided within on the upper left and the bottom right corner. The rate charged to citizens within their respective property location is indicative of services received. So tonight, we can show you the updated for the tax rate because we did receive the budgets approved by the province. So this is what we will show you. Don't worry, I won't go through the whole budget. I will stick to a very, very high level. Because when we did present on the budget in November, all we could do is present the total, the resulting total budget. We couldn't show the spread because this had to be approved by the province. So for each zone, as I just mentioned, with revenues and services specific to each of them, we have now done all columns. The final section is for revenues and expenses that are shared amongst all of the wards, because one of the things with the municipal reform is that the services that are shared should be shared within all of the regions, but the services that are specific to their region or their sections will be charged through their specific tax rate. So starting with the shared column, we can see that all together, but before adding the warrant and the unconditional grant, there is 1.8 million in shared revenues, 10,000 for North Tedegush, and 250,000 for the other part of Ward 2. and $2 million for the Old City of Bathurst section. Moving on to the shared column, this is where we add the additional unconditional grant of $3.8 million that is shared amongst all sections. After this, you add the warrant calculated for each ward's section, and I will come back to this point in a few slides to provide total revenues used to balance the budget. On the expense side, there are 9.1 million shared expenses. The amount specific to North Tittagush is $593,000, and as for the other parts of Ward 2, their expenses amount for $1.3 million. For the Old City of Bathurst, the total expenses are $21.2 million for the total $32.2 million budget we had presented in November. I really want to bring your attention to the police protection services. In the initial budget presented to the transition committee, we had used the cost for the RCMP that is still servicing Ward 2 by increasing the 2022 rates by 5%. However, the week after, we received the rates for the year 2023, and they were exponentially higher. The rates for North Tittagush section for the RCMP specifically will go from $248,000 in November in 2022 to $265,000 in 2023. That's an increase of $17,000. But for the other sections that include all the rest of the old LSDs, the cost goes from $355,000 in 2022 to $469,000 in 2023. That's an increase of $114,000. So that's a big increase for them. This has no choice but to impact their individual tax rate. So as a result, we now have direct revenues generated for each section on the first line. Then we add the equalization grant and we subtract the expenses. That brings us a subtotal. It leaves a little less than $3.6 million that should technically be shared within all of the three available tax rates on the value of their assessment. Of course, the municipal reform allows for transition years to enable lower tax rate sections to catch up incrementally instead of all at once. The transition committee has decided on a 6-year transition period. If we now look at the section for North Tittagush, we can see that there are $583,000 worth expenses to be covered by the warrant, which is generated from the tax rate. For the other old LSDs, there needs to be a little over $1 million, and for the old Bathurst, there needs to be $19,000 raised for their specific direct expenses. The line in yellow shows the tax rates that were approved by the province. For the old Bathurst, the tax rate remains the same at 1.7750, generating close to $23 million. For North Tittagush, the base tax rate is approved at 79 cents and 84, generating $563,000. And finally, for the other old LSEs, it is approved at 74 cents 78, generating around $950,000. For both sections of Ward 2, this represents an increase of around 10 cents, and this rate does not include the amount for transportation that will be charged by the province. It usually sits around 42 cents. The final result, which brings the total budget to balance, is the line named surplus deficit. This is where the $3.6 million from earlier in shared cost shows up. For North Tittagush, even with the increase in their tax rate, they still end up with a deficit of $19,000. For the other LSDs, it's a deficit of $91,000, and finally for Bathurst, a surplus of $3.7 million. This means that at the end of the day, even with the increase in tax rate, because of the RCMP 2023 charges, the Ward 2 tax rate will not provide enough money to cover all direct expenses. It also doesn't provide any money to start paying towards the shared cost. So the old Bathurst section will cover the missing portion. And in December, if citizens want to know what will be their tax rate for their own address, Mr. Foudem had presented the link to the city's website that would direct citizens to information related to the municipal reform. So included in that site is a map where you can enter your address and see which information applies to you. And we have now updated the site to include the tax rate for each section. So to do so, you will enter your address on the upper right corner, and you will enter your location where you want to see how much it's going to be. And in our case, we chose the Bathurst Regional Airport, and as you can see, it shows your location and the related tax rate. There are also other types of information that citizens can access if they wish to. And this concludes my update. Questions?
All right, do we have any questions for Madame Gauvin? Councillor Willett.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Did the province indicate when we'd be able to take over policing?
From what we have heard last time, policing has to be decided by January 1st, 2024. So we have to decide during 2023 what will be done for policing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Pettigrew, you wanted to add to that?
Oh, yes, thank you, Worship. Just to follow up, we will be bringing a recommendation to council shortly. Their police department is going through the process to finalize recommendations and options for policing moving forward, but they're not quite ready yet, so we will be working on that the next couple of weeks and have something to bring to council.
Perfect. And just quickly, because I mean, I know Madame Gauvin explained it. So if we look at one area at 0.79 and 0.74, we still have to take in consideration that they're paying the 42 cents to the provincial for garbage and snow removal and whatnot. So I was part of the transition committee, including Councillor Branch. So we were trying, that's why we figured to go within 6 years, because when you're living on the outskirts and it's just not doable to have such an increase so quickly for people that fall within the rural district. So I think that was the best case scenario that we were able to have, and we'll figure something out with the RCMP. We'll cover the cost for now and move from there. It's a new 2023. Merci beaucoup, Madame Gauvin. Ms. Parker, do we have any items to be added or removed? Oop, that would help you if I gave you the mic.
No, we do not.
Okay. So we'll go to the adoption of the agenda. Councillor Hondas.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Je propose que l'ordre du jour soit approuvé comme présenté.
Parfait. Est-ce que je peux avoir quelqu'un pour appuyer? Conseiller Leblanc. Tout ça en faveur signifiant en disant oui.
Oui.
Contre. Motion adoptée. Ms. Parker, do we have any declaration of conflict of interest?
There are no declarations of conflict of interest.
Parfait. So, on va aller à l'adoption des minutes. Adoption of the minutes. Regular public meeting held on December 19th, 2022. Councillor Willett.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that the minutes of the regular public meeting dated December 19, 2022 be approved with the following changes. Item 10.3, lease agreement, Unit 20 was removed from the draft resolution and placed under items discussed in camera.
All right. May I have a seconder? Councillor Scarry. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Minutes for the special public meeting held on January 9th, 2023. Councillor Burnett.
Thank you. I would so move that the minutes of the special public meeting dated January 9, 2023 be approved as circulated.
Perfect. May I have a seconder? Councillor Hondas. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I had to find where Councillor Legacy was. Everybody's moved around. I'm supposed to going there. Oh, this is going to be an adjustment. All right. Okay, accounts payable totals for December of 2022. Councillor Legacy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that the accounts payables total, including payroll for the month of December 2022, be approved as follows. Operating for $2,331,725. Capital for $1,542,930. For a total of $5,277,817.
All right, may I have a seconder? Councillor Knowles. Before I go to the question, Mr. Pettigrew.
Thank you, Worship. The following is a summary of the disbursements for both the operating and the capital funds for the month of December 2022. Under the capital fund, Bayview Trucks and Equipment received a payment of $38,911 for a street legal lawnmower. Commercial Services received a payment of $39,006 for library flooring replacements at City Hall. Lounsbury Automotive Limited received a payment of $75,971 for a one-ton truck with a dump box and a plow. RH Fournette Trucking Limited received a payment of $197,332 for street upgrades. Roy Consultant received a payment for consulting services on different capital projects of $53,610. St. Isidore Asphalt Limited received a payment for St. Peter Avenue upgrade work of $1,138,101 for a total in the capital fund of $1,542,930. In the operating fund, Schiller Regional Service Commission received a payment of $40,647 for garbage, sludge, and recyclables. Ground Force Training, Inc. received a payment of $24,930 for front-end loader and salt truck training for our public works staff. Medavie Blue Cross received a payment of $81,169 for monthly benefits. Micho Petroleum received a $62,136 payment for a bulk diesel and oil. New Brunswick Municipal Finance Corp. received a payment of $1,406,780 for our debenture payments, which includes principal and interest on our long-term borrowing. NB Power received a payment of $162,722 for electricity. Roy Consultant received a payment of $95,499 for consulting services on different projects throughout the city. St. Isidore Asphalt received a payment of $24,080 for asphalt, gravel, and crushed rock used for various projects throughout the city. Other recurring payments of $433,762 include animal control services, repair, and supplies, for a total of $2,331,725. Total payroll for the month of 5 pay periods was $1,403,162 for a total of $5,277,817. As of my report, Your Worship.
Perfect. Do we have any questions? Oh, Councillor Burnett.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. See where we have animal control of $433,000, and we've just learned that we're not going to be able to recoup the overreach for the RCMP for the new areas of the city. Are we going to have to recoup any monies here for the animal control for the other parts of the city, or is that going to be taken care of by the province?
Good question, Mr. Pettigrew.
Thank you, Worship. Yeah, this is a payment of a contract we currently have with the SPCA. We're still being discussions with the province of New Brunswick. There are still some details within the reform of duties of what's coverage. There's still some contracts we have to work out with them, but we'll continue to those and update them. But the stuff that's covered would have been covered in the provincial costs we've already covered.
I hope during those discussions we can talk about the RCMP payments. Is there any holdback on some of the work for asphalt and for paving? Are we finished the projects that we had started?
Thank you, Your Worship. We'll go through to Mr. Abernathy. He can give an update on the capital projects.
Mr. Abernathy.
Thank you, Your Worship. Typically, there are holdbacks. There's 60-day holdbacks for any work. I would imagine at this point, however, those are completed. Any deficiencies, however, would be held over until the following year, and final inspections can be done after the 1-year warranty period. So there may be a little bit of work being done in the spring. I know there was a lot of topsoil and sod that didn't make its way in at the end of the year, so there's still a little bit of work to be done, and certainly money held back to account for that work. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So I'll need a seconder. Councillor Condas. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. I'll take 2 steps back. I jumped over point 7, which is delegation and petition. Do we have any delegation and petition Ms. Parker?
There were no delegations or petitions.
Perfect. All right. Municipal bylaws. We have proposed municipal plan and zoning bylaw amendment. So we are looking at 9.11 for properties located at 680 and 690 Riverside Drive. And we are going to be doing the second reading of the bylaw 2022-09. Councillor Leblanc.
Merci, Madame la mairesse. Je propose que l'arrêté 2022-09M intitulé « Un arrêté visant à modifier l'arrêté 2006-01 intitulé « Arrêté portant adoption du plan municipal de la cité of Bathurst » soit passé en deuxième lecture par titre.
Parfait. Est-ce que je peux avoir quelqu'un pour proposer? Monsieur le conseiller Brunet. Tout ça en faveur signifié en disant oui.
Oui.
Contre. Motion adoptée. On va y aller à third reading bylaw 2022-09M. Councillor Scary.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move that bylaw 2002-09M, entitled "A Bylaw to Amend Bylaw Number 2006-01, entitled "The City of Bathurst Municipal Plan Bylaw," be read for the third time.
Perfect. May I have a seconder? Councillor Knowles. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 9.1.1.3, second reading of bylaw 2022-09Z by Councillor Branch.
I move that bylaw 2022-09Z entitled "Bylaw to Amend Bylaw 2008-01 entitled "The City of Bathurst Zoning Bylaw" be read for the second time.
Perfect. May I have a seconder? Councillor LeBlanc. All those in favor signify. Oh, sorry, we have a question. Councillor Scary, did you have a question?
No.
Oh, all right. Okay, so we'll get used to with her buttons. She's tricky. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Nine point one point 1.4, third reading of bylaw 2022-09Z, moved by Councillor Knowles.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that bylaw 2022-09Z entitled "A Bylaw to Amend Bylaw 2008-01 entitled "The City of Bathurst Zoning Bylaw" be read for the third time by title.
Perfect. May I have a seconder? Councillor Willett. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Draft resolutions. Appointment to the Planning Advisory Committee. So we are at 10.11, appointment of Mr. Donald Chesson, Monsieur Régent Boucher, and Mr. Marc Richard, first term. Deputy Mayor Anderson.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move that Mr. Donald Chesson, Mr. Régent Boucher, and Mr. Marc Richard be appointed to the Planning Advisory Committee for a first term expiring on December 31st, 2025.
Perfect. May I have a seconder? Councillor Scary, do we have any questions? No? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Well, welcome and thank you to all three of you wanting to be part of the committees. Appointment of Mr. Oliver Boucher for second term. Councillor Hondas.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I so move that Olivier Boucher be appointed to the Planning Advisory Committee for a second term expiring on December 31st, 2025.
All right, may I have a seconder? Councillor Brunet. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 10.2, appointment of interim assistant city clerk. Councillor Willett.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Je propose qu'en vertu de l'article 71.2 de la loi sur la gouvernance locale, Monique Nolan soit nommée à titre intérimaire au poste de greffière municipale adjointe pour la ville de Bathurst.
Parfait. Est-ce que je peux avoir quelqu'un pour appuyer? Conseiller Lagacé. Tous en faveur signifie en disant oui. Contre. Motion adoptée. Appointment of Animal Control Officer, Councillor Burnett.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Whereas pursuant to bylaw number 2012-04, a bylaw regulating the keeping and controlling of companion animals in the city of Bathurst, council is authorized to appoint an animal control officer, and that Alexandra Nesbitt, Alyssa Roy, and Alyssa Frenette are authorized, designated, and appointed to act for and on behalf of the council in order to properly enforce the bylaw number 2012-04, and that the said appointment continues as long as the said person remain employed with the Animal Shelter Bathurst, Inc., or that the appointment is limited or rescinded by council. But now therefore it be resolved by myself that the Bathurst City Council hereby appoints Alexander Nesbitt, Alyssa Roy, and Alyssa Frenette as animal control officers.
May I have a seconder? Councillor LeBlanc. All those in favor signify by saying, oh, we have a question. Councillor Hondas?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think this was on the floor before, and we were supposed to discuss it or have a discussion or some information about why we were hiring 3. I remember, I think Deputy Mayor Anderson had tabled it at that time.
Yep. We're going to go to Monsieur Laplante.
Those are the animal control officers that are going to be working at the SPCA. So that's a contract that we have through tender. So there's a locked price. The resolution is simply to allow their employees to actually enforce the bylaw. So if council doesn't appoint the animal control officers, they're not able to perform their duties and enforce the bylaws. So it's important that they're appointed for that reason.
All right. Deputy Mayor Anderson?
No, I think what Councillor Hondas is referring to is the last time that this was brought up, we were questioning because we had just passed a resolution adding new animal control officers over with the SPCA, and then they were coming back with 3 more. So we were questioning is this 3 additional, or are the other ones that was hired a few months back, are they no longer there? It's all new staff. So the other staff is no longer there.
I would assume, yeah.
All we know is we need them to be able to do their job right now.
I mean,
because they don't have any.
They don't have any. That was why it was tabled before, because we didn't have clarification as to whether or not they were out of staff and we had to replace the ones that were just appointed to the SPCA. That was the question, right?
Yeah.
Hold on. Mr. Pettigrew?
Thank you, Worship. Yeah, in this case, where it's a tender, there could be some changes, so there is no cost or change. Even if they added 2 or 3 other temporary ones, there could be 5 there at one point. It doesn't change the cost or affect our tendered contract. There could be some that are part-time or not part-time, but they still need to all be appointed, so that's why there could additionally be more than the 3 that are there, depending on the staff, how they work out, but it's no effect and no cost for our contract. It's the tendered amount, does not affect the amount that we pay.
Right now, though, and that was part of the question too. Are we going to get ourselves into the situation when we're coming to renegotiate this contract and they're saying, well, now we have 5 employees that we have to pay where they were paying X amount prior to that? That's where all this kind of came into question last time around.
I think what we could do is before next year, because we have all of this year.
Yeah.
Because they have to send in a proposal for cost anyway, and if we have questions prior to that, that's when we'll certainly have questions.
That's where Councillor Honda's question is coming from.
All right. Are you okay with that, Councillor Hondas?
I am.
Okay, so did I go for a seconder? Had I add, I think it was Councillor LeBlanc? Yeah, okay. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried. $10.4 Insurance Renewal BFL Canada Risk and Insurance Inc. Councillor Legacy.
I move that the insurance renewal for the City of Bathurst be approved for the following policies. Prop 1001 EBI 0626482238, CBC 0913168, 505-30016, honorary brokerage 10049 CGL 10165 POL, 10165 XS1, 10165 XS2, expiring January 1st, 2024, and that the members of council authorize a payment of $473,935, taxes included, payable to BFL Canada Risk and Insurance, Inc.
May I have a seconder? Deputy Mayor Anderson. So before we go to the questions, I'll go to Mr. Pettigrew.
Thank you, Your Worship. There were some invoice changes in how they invoice this and timeframes. I would ask our city treasurer and Ms. Govet to go through those as well.
Right.
Merci. Donc, les assurances couvrent les biens, les bris des machines, les automobiles, tous nos équipements qu'on a, tous nos édifices. Ça comprend aussi nos responsabilités municipales, nos responsabilités générales, tout ça en temps de municipalité, si quelque chose venait à se passer qui ne sont pas pour les équipements, tout ça. Donc, en 2022, les mêmes polices nous coûtaient 489 000. Cette année, incluant le nouveau territoire et tout au complet, si on compare les mêmes choses, ça monte à 503 000, donc une augmentation de 13 000 $. L'an dernier, ça avait augmenté seulement pour l'ancien Bathurst de à peu près 130 000, donc c'est très bon comme augmentation comparativement à ce qu'on a vu dans les derniers 2 ans, surtout considérant que ça comprend un plus grand territoire. Puis le montant de 503 000 est à l'intérieur du budget qu'on avait placé. La facture est de 473 000 parce qu'à cause des dates qui sont là l'année passée, quand on avait payé, ça couvre des paiements qui allaient pour 2023, donc c'était pour nos prépayés. Donc, quand eux nous ont donné un crédit parce qu'ils ont rajusté les dates pour que ça soit tout simplement plus simple, ça, du mois de janvier au mois de décembre, au lieu de couper en plein milieu de février, puis tout ça, là, il y avait un petit peu de manipulation, de conciliation à faire, mais après la conciliation, la facture est 473 000, mais la dépense qui passerait en 2023 serait de 503 000 qui est à l'intérieur du budget qu'on avait cédulé.
Councillor Hondas, I seen your lit up. Did you have a question? Hondas Knowles?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, Madame Gova, that figure of 473,935, what percentage increase would that represent over 2022?
It's 13,000 more. It's difficult to see the exact percentage because it now includes over $2 million, close to $3 million in assets for the fire stations that we're taking over and everything. So it's difficult to compare just in percentage. I can tell you that it's around 13,922 more than last year when you compare the price itself. But when it comes to comparing exactly the same invoices, it's difficult because we have new assets added to it and a bigger responsibility. So it's difficult to say the increase because we have more stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Because in 2021 to 2022, it was over 130,000, right?
Yeah.
And there was nothing that had really changed.
It was the same things. We had no additional equipment. We had reviewed the value of everything, but it was very much an increase. It was like, oh my God, it was like 40%. It was very, very much. But we could compare with the increases because we were comparing the same equipment. We were comparing the same territory versus now it's
13,000 and adding the regional districts. Yes. We are very fortunate.
Yes.
All right. Does that answer your question, Councillor Knowles?
Yeah, it does. I was just wondering if that's the only quote that we look at, the BFL quote. Is there any other options? I'm not saying to replace them or anything. It just...
No, there were, we go through an agency, well, not agency, in French it's a courtier, and they go shopping around for us, and those were the ones that came up with the better price. They don't only shop for the city of Bathurst, but they shop for multiple city and municipalities within the region. And they're able to get better prices because they shop for more than one municipality at once. So that was the one that was identified for all those municipalities that are part of that kind of alliance, I would call it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Councillor Burnett?
Thanks, Madam Mayor, through you to the treasurer. And you say the province did take this into consideration with the increased cost for insurance when they set the tax rate for the outlying new areas?
It is included into our budget.
It's included in the budget?
Yes, it is.
And so the tax rate went up accordingly for the new areas.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's the same thing for the Regional Service Commission last year. They seen a huge increase as well. I think it was over $80,000. So last year from 2022, many municipalities saw a gap. So the fact that we're looking at 13,000 for 2023, I hate to say it because it's still 13,000, but it's pretty bad when those are the words that are coming out of your mouth. But, all right, so we'll go to the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Appointment to committees and commission, Councillor Leblanc.
Merci, Madame la mairesse. Je propose que les nominations au sein des comités et commissions soient approuvées comme indiqué ci-dessous. Bon. Est-ce que je les lis
Oui,
toutes?
s'il vous plaît.
J'espère qu'on n'est pas pressé. Bathurst Aquatic Center Commission, commission du Centre aquatique de Bathurst, Stephen Legacy comme conseiller et à l'administration Ryan Wilbur. Commission du Festival de Bathurst Inc., Mike Scarry comme conseiller, Todd Pettigrew comme administrateur, administration de la ville.
Je vais vous corriger, on a fait un petit changement. C'est Deputy Mayor Hondas for, no? Oh, I'm calling everybody Hondas.
Penny Anderson.
No. All right, okay, keep going. Okay, keep going. Yes, all right.
So I'm good.
Yes, you're good, yes.
All
Yes.
right. La commission de la bibliothèque publique, mon ami M. Daryl Branch. Et l'administration sera Monique Nolan. La réserve naturelle de la Pointe d'Ely sera moi-même, Jean-François Leblanc, avec l'administration Lisa Noël et Matthew Abernathy. Comité administratif, nous avons le comité de développement des entreprises, croissance municipale et développement économique. Les membres de conseil sur ce comité seront Stephen Legacy, Michael Willett et Deputy Mayor Penny Anderson. Et les membres de l'administration seront Todd Pettigrew, Chris Legacy, Amy Lynn Parker, Matthew Abernathy, Donald McLaughlin et Marc-André Laplante. L'organisation des mesures d'urgence, Kim Chamberlain, Daryl Branch, Mike Willett et Stephen Legacy comme membres de conseil. Et je vois juste tous les chefs de département à l'administration, donc je me dis que c'est ça que c'est. Comité de travail pour le Titan, nous avons Penny Anderson, Kim Chamberlain, Ricky Hondas et Daryl Branch. Et à l'administration, on a Todd Pettigrew, Ryan Wilbur, Marc-André Laplante. Comité consultatif en matière d'urbanisme, Penny Anderson au conseil et Donald McLaughlin à l'administration. Comité d'appel pour les lieux dangereux ou inesthétiques, Dale Knowles avec Donald McLaughlin à l'administration. Corporation de revitalisation du centre-ville de Bathurst, mes collègues Stephen Legacy et Mike Willett avec Chris Legacy comme à l'administration. Comité spécial, service d'eau régional, conseiller Ondas et Legacy avec à l'administration Matthew Abernathy, Sonia Gauvin, Todd Pettigrew et Marc-André Laplante. Développement du site du Moulin, Kim Chamberlain et Penny Anderson comme membres de conseil et membres de l'administration seront Donald McLaughlin, Todd Pettigrew, Matthew Abernathy et Marc-André Laplante. Et maintenant, pour les comités de liaison communautaire, nous avons le Temple de la renommée sportive de Bathurst, conseiller Ricky Hondas, et comme citoyen, nous avons Jacob Button. Et à partir, est-ce que je pense que c'est tous des citoyens en descendant? Après ça, nous avons les sentiers Bathurst, Nouveau-Brunswick, Mike Scarry comme conseiller, Andrew McLagan comme citoyen. Comité du parc Coronation, Penny Anderson et Andrew McLagan et René Saint-Pierre comme administration. Art et culture, nous avons dans le comité Mieux-être, Amis des aînés, Mike Scarry et Stephen Brunet. Amy Lynn Parker, qui sera la membre de l'administration. Le comité d'embellissement, Ricky Hondas, Dale Knowles et Jean-François Leblanc, moi-même, avec à l'administration René Saint-Pierre et Amy Lynn Parker. Commission du patrimoine de Bathurst, nous avons Stephen Brunet comme conseiller et Matthew Abernathy comme administration. Le comité consultatif de Bathurst sur la condition de personnes ayant un handicap moi-même, Jean-François Leblanc et Matthew Abernathy à l'administration. Et puis, OK, l'Association des cités, je dis ça aussi? OK.
Oui.
Les cités, l'Association des cités du Nouveau-Brunswick, nous avons comme représentante la mairesse, Mme Kim Chamberlain, et l'alternative, si vous voulez, c'est le député maire Anderson pour le moment. J'assume que ça va changer avec les années. Et le représentant de la ville, c'est Todd Pettigrew. Maintenant, Executive Committee, comité exécutif, nous avons la mairesse Chamberlain avec le député maire Anderson et le représentant de la ville, Marc-André Laplante. Conseil économique du Nouveau-Brunswick, mairesse Chamberlain et Penny Anderson, encore une fois, député maire. Et représentant de la ville, Chris Legacy et Todd Pettigrew. Et le dernier, ce qui est l'Union des municipalités du Nouveau-Brunswick, mairesse Chamberlain et député maire Anderson et Todd Pettigrew comme représentant de la ville de Bathurst. Je pense que je les ai tous nommés.
Oui, oui, vous l'avez eu. Bon, mais je vais aller chercher quelqu'un pour approuver. Deuxième, OK. Conseiller Handaz. Avant de jouer à la question, je vais vous expliquer un peu. Il y a certains comités qu'on regarde comme Conseil économique, Union of the Municipality. Ces comités-là, c'est maire, moi, comme maire, qui va participer. Mais si je ne suis pas là, automatiquement, ça va être le député maire qui va être en place, qui va me remplacer. Sauf avec les services régionaux, la Commission des services régionaux, on a signé 2, dont c'est député maire Anderson et moi-même sur les services régionaux. Ça peut changer à chaque année. Les comités, c'est pour 1 an seulement. On va changer à chaque année. C'est certain qu'on est plus de conseillers maintenant. So we're a few more councillors. We are also going to be adding another committee, which will be with the Bathurst Bears. So this is not set in stone. Nothing stops us from making any changes. We are still looking for citizens to participate in 2 of our committees. If you're looking for some information or more information, please call City Hall and ask to speak to Ms. Amy Parker, and she'll explain a bit more. We have other committees that we might be making some changes as well, adding new committees. So again, these are not set in stone. Bathurst Bears, they've approached us, as Councillor LeBlanc had said, that they were looking to find out, and they wanted to meet with us. And their point of their committee is how they can give back to the community. So we are more than willing to sit down and want to have a chat with them. So if we have no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Ms. Parker, do we have any new business?
There is no new business.
Do we have any old business?
There is no old business.
All right. Items and information. Committee report. Do we have any committee report?
There was no committee reports.
Do we have any departmental report?
There is no departmental updates.
All right. J'ai juste un petit compte rendu, rapport de maire. J'ai eu le plaisir de participer à une annonce à Inkerman pour transport en commun. Vendredi passé, député Serge Cormier a annoncé du financement de plus de 1 million dans la péninsule acadienne. Le gouvernement fédéral, pour nous, a aussi payé l'étude de faisabilité que nous, on avait eu lieu en 2022 pour la région Chaleur. L'étude était pour transport en commun, donc c'est certain, on parlait des mini-autobus de 25 passagers. La péninsule acadienne sont beaucoup plus avancés que nous. Ils ont fait l'étude quelques années passées. Il y a un autobus temporaire qui est là sur un projet pilote. Et là, je pense que c'est 1,4 million qu'ils ont eu pour être en mesure d'acheter 7 autobus. Il y avait des minibus taxis aussi. Ça fait par 2024, ils souhaitent être en opération. Pour nous, qu'est-ce que ça veut dire? Pendant l'annonce, notre député Cormier a dit que pour la région Chaleur, on avait 3 millions dont on était en mesure d'aller chercher comme financement pour nous aider à acheter nos autobus, les arrêter, dont maintenant que l'étude est finie, il est prêt. ils vont le présenter à la Commission des services régionaux au mois de février. De là, on va mettre une équipe ensemble pour discuter de partage de coûts. C'est certain que, veut pas, il va quand même avoir des coûts à partager entre Bathurst et Belle-Baie et les districts ruraux s'ils s'embarquent avec nous. Dans l'étude qui a été faite pour la région Chaleur, il y avait option 1, 2 et 3, et option 3 incluait les districts ruraux. Fait, ils vont présenter au mois de février. Dès là, un comité sera mis en place pour discuter de frais et de coûts partagés. Et si tout le monde est d'accord, les municipalités sont d'accord, les conseillers sont d'accord, on va avancer de l'avant pour faire les demandes, pour être capable d'être en mesure d'acheter l'équipement nous aussi, pour avoir transport en commun. Ce serait le fun en septembre 2024. Mais écoute, on va aller de là. Fait ça, c'était de vraiment bonnes nouvelles. Merci, député Serge Cormier, pour l'annonce. On était vraiment contents. C'est un des projets qui nous touche à cœur. Fait, pour aujourd'hui, c'est la seule chose que j'aurais à vous rajouter comme rapport pour maire. So we're going to go to adjournment of the meeting. I'm sorry, Councillor Hondas, we took it away from you and we gave it to Councillor Scary.
Sorry, bro.
Yep.
I move that the regular public meeting be adjourned at 7:16.
All right, may I have a seconder? Councillor Hondas. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. When Madame Saint-Laurent was here, didn't matter how we rotated, Councillor Hondas always closed the meeting. I forgot. I know. All right, I hope everybody has a great meeting. Great evening. We're going to stick around because we have a meeting as well.